Good afternoon, UAW family. For the third time, I am honored to announce that we have yet another victory in our stand-up strike. Your bargaining committee worked hard through the night, and early this morning we reached a tentative agreement with GM. Once again, we have won several astonishing victories. For the past several weeks, analysts and pundits were crying that our union was going too far, that we were demanding too much. We didn't listen to them, and we never let up. The result is one of the most stunning contract victories since the sit-down strikes in the 1930s. We were relentless in our fight to win a record contract, and that is exactly what we accomplished. If ratified, GM salaried workers will be provided general wage increases for the first time in our history. In fact, they will receive wage increases of 25% and cost of living allowance, matching what we have won for our hourly workers. This will be the most lucrative contract for salaried GM workers in their history. For our hourly workers, it's the same story. The starting wage for our assembly workers in our new GM agreement will increase about 70%, with estimated cost of living from $18 an hour to over $30 an hour. And the top wage will increase about 33%, from $32.32 an hour to $42.95 an hour. Now that we have a groundbreaking tentative agreement at GM, we're officially suspending our stand-up strike against each of the big three. You'll be receiving information in the near future about when and how to return to work.
Yes, again, that is my main man. Probably one of my favorite people on the planet right now. Shawn Fain, the leader, the president of the United Auto Workers, announcing that they have come to an agreement with the big three car makers. Yes, on Monday it was announced that they reached a tentative deal with General Motors, which capped off a whirlwind few days in which General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, agreed to terms that would end the 6 weeks of targeted strikes. Now, as you heard Mr. Fain say, President Fain say, the approval of the deal has to be approved by the rank and file. So they still have to vote on this, but they have negotiated what is one of the biggest, if not the biggest deal in American history for car workers, auto workers in this country. He closed the deal on his 55th birthday. And this deal would give workers higher wages than they have received in many years. And it also would bring back some of the concessions that the United Auto Workers agreed to during the recession. That's what made what was going on with these car companies so dastardly. They used the recession of 2007-2008 to claw away all those hard-earned benefits that the auto workers had received. And they had to concede that to keep those car companies in business after years of bad management from the car companies. And even though Obama and them bailed them out, they still did not give those workers back what they had sacrificed. So actually Fain has clawed back some of that. Analysts are saying that Shawn Fain's combative stance with the companies paid off for the workers, winning them pay and cost of living raises that would top 30% by the time those contracts expire in April of 2028. Workers would get an immediate 11% pay bump upon ratification. Yes. Now, you're going to get people in the media who say, oh, well, like analysts, random analysts who are going to say that this is going to force the automakers to raise prices beyond those charged by competitors and with non-union factories. That is a lie. Now, they may choose to do that because they are greedy. But did you know that the union labor is only 5% of the price of a car that you buy? Only 5%. 5% of the car's price is the laborers. That's it. 5%. 95% of it goes to the car companies. The profits. Now, Fain is the first United Auto Workers president who was directly elected by its members in their 88-year history. He campaigned against the union establishment by telling workers that the companies are the enemy and that the United Auto Workers would be at war with them. He called out corporate greed, the salaries, the crazy salaries of people like Mary Barra, and a system where the union acted as a business partner with the automakers. And that's important to talk about, guys. Their leadership for so many years. People went to prison. Their old leadership were so corrupt, a lot of them went to prison. And that's what's important to really remember in this in this story, that labor has been compromised in so many ways. Compromised in so many ways by these companies that a lot of these so-called union leaders serve the companies more than they serve the rank and file. Now, the GM pact came after the United Auto Workers added another plant to the list of those on strike against the company. They started ramping up the pressure to bargain on the last Detroit holdout. About 4,000 workers at GM Spring Hill, Tennessee complex, the company's largest, walked out last Saturday night and threatening production of their 4 vehicles and parts that supply 9 other factories as far away as Mexico. Seeking to bring the talks to an end and facing an estimated $200 million per week in losses. General Motors CEO Mary Barra went to the Detroit headquarters of the union to get it done. She had no choice. She had to capitulate. Ford agreed to a new contract last week, as did Stellantis, formerly Chrysler, on Saturday. Now, in theory, the union members could still vote down the deals, and there is some sentiment for holding out to get more, but more than likely, this will bring peace to the car industry until 2028. And the reason that they got what they got is because Fain, he aimed large, because he wasn't corrupt, because he actually was working for the workers instead of the corporations. He aimed big. He started off seeking 40% raises and even asked for a 32-hour work week for 40 hours of pay. Now, I heard people all over TV, Jim Cramer, I even heard people on WLTH saying, oh, that's crazy. How are you going to... That's what you do in negotiations. That's what you do when you are negotiating on the behalf of your people. You fight hard for them. You make demands. What did Frederick Douglass say? Power concedes nothing without demand. Well, he made demands. That's what he did. And all you saw with these car goes, oh man, these contracts are going to cost us billions and they're going to force us to cut costs everywhere and raise prices. And oh, this is going to raise the labor cost, by so much. Again, 5% of the cost of the vehicle goes to labor. 5%. And I want you guys to remember that these companies spend billions on stock buybacks. Stock buybacks were illegal until the 1980s. That's when companies buy their own stock to juice the price of the stock. That's what they do. That's what stock buyback is. That used to be illegal. That's like rigging your own game. And of course, we do not have a party in this country, the Democrats or the Republicans, that will do anything to stop it. Ronald Reagan has allowed it to happen, and you better believe that the Democrats fell right in line behind him. And again, you haven't even heard any major candidates talk about getting rid of stock buybacks, really. Not in any real way. Not in a real way. And it's important to remember that these three companies have posted a net income of about $24.5 billion through September, just in 2023. That's what we're talking about here. Now, the really important part of these deals, the cost of living adjustment. When things become higher price, do the workers get a raise to adjust with that higher price? That is one of the things that they got rid of in 2007, 2008 during the financial crisis. Thank God they sort of clawed that back. So, you know, this is a momentous victory. Starting wages for new General Motors hires would rise by 70%. 70%. To more than $30 an hour. Yes, yes. That is how you build a working class, folks. That is how you build families. That is a lot of you complain about people not getting married. I talk about marriage a lot on this show. I'm not married, but I talk about marriage and family a lot on this show. That is how you get people married. That is how you get people to have families. You want men to marry their baby mamas? Give them $30 an hour. And you'll be shocked at how much more people get married and how much more stable families are and how much less crime you have and how much less poverty you have. You know. So this is going to be a momentous victory. Under the tentative agreements, the average all-in hourly compensation for all United Auto workers, meaning benefits plus pay, is going to be about $90 an hour. $90 an hour. That's everything, benefits and COLA and everything. Now, at the non-unionized Tesla that is owned by Elon Musk, that number is just $45 an hour. You see why I say God bless labor now? You see that's why I end every show with God bless labor? $45, $90. Who do you think are going to be marrying their baby mamas? Who do you think are going to be buying houses and cars and building families? Toyota they are non-unionized. They are going to immediately start raising the wages of their non-union factory workers. They're raising their top pay to $32 an hour. I wonder why. So even if you're not in a union, you will benefit from the gains of the union. Tesla, as we mentioned earlier, owned by Elon Musk, is going to be giving out raises. But most importantly, And hold on, Carl, I'm gonna get to you in a second. Let me just get to this last point here. United Auto Workers are talking about a general strike in 2028. Now, this might be the single most important part of what I'm talking about here. They are talking about a general strike, a potential general strike in 2028. They are inviting unions all around America to align their contract expiration dates with the expiration date of this deal that Sean Fain and the auto workers just made, so that together they can flex the collective muscles of organized labor and take on the billionaires and the corporations. Sean Fain said it is important that we not only strike, but we strike together. And when we come back in 2028, it won't just be us with the big three. It won't just be GM, Ford, and Stellantis. No. It's going to be with all those other companies that are going to be forced to unionize as well, including Tesla, who's going to end up paying their workers about half, who are now currently paying half of what GM, Ford, and Chrysler are going to, Stellantis are going to after this deal. But Tesla's 20,000 worker plant in Fremont, California is currently paying host to a United Auto Workers organizing committee. And so they are getting their union together in Tesla. So Elon Musk, get ready, boy. We're coming for your head. Hello, caller.
By 2028, how many of those people you think gonna be at work?
Ultimately, you don't know how much you can accomplish until you actually go and fight to accomplish it. And that's the important thing. That's what Elon Musk taught all of us. Not Elon Musk, I'm sorry, Sean Fain. That's what Sean Fain has taught all of us here. So many people doubted him. So many people doubted what he could accomplish. And here he is right now, responsible for the greatest labor victory maybe in 100 years. You don't know how many families all over the country are going to benefit from this. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are going to benefit from this. All right, folks, when we get back, we're going to talk about a different topic, a legend here in the state of Indiana. Not my favorite person in the world. I'm not going to pretend, but certainly a monumental figure here in this state. The good, the bad, the ugly. Bobby Knight. He was Trump before Trump was Trump. We'll be right back after these.